Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. This is the Ready, Set, Go preview show. This is an ongoing series that I have been doing for 90 plus weeks right here on the YouTube machine every single Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. And this show, this live stream that we do is really dedicated to giving us as a community around this channel an opportunity to come together to have some fun. And as part of that, we give away a really cool slab from our friends over at Go Collect. And we talk about various things that are on my mind that are making the news and may also be on your mind as well. And we mix it up. We also mix it up where we have a little bit of interplay between myself and those folks that are actually in the chat. And this stream is going to be like any other stream that we do, in that we are going to mix it up and we're going to have some fun. So I want to give a huge shout out to all the comic book soldiers that are joining me for this live stream right now. And for all of those of you that will be watching this thing back on replay. So there is a lot on the index card that is in front of me, and we are going to endeavor to get it all in. We are going to talk about Naomi. We're going to talk about a new relationship that I have formed for the channel with an external party. We're going to talk about DC Future State. We're also going to talk about the demise of DC Comics as clickbait. Because the clickbait is running wild right now. We're also going to spend a little bit of time talking about some post DC Future State occurrences that are out there in the news right now. And then as soon as this live stream wraps up, I'm actually going to go live again to actually do a Patreon giveaway. And so anybody can attend that second live stream, but it is a giveaway that is dedicated to Patreon members that supported the channel through Q4 of this year. And we may be doing some additional giveaways in 2021, but this one is for those that were signed up for the entire quarter. That was, the fourth quarter via Patreon. So a lot of stuff that we are going to try to get to in this live stream so that we can get to the next live stream to be able to give away some cool books. And those books are actually sitting off to my side here. And we will also be giving away to one lucky subscriber this book right here. This is an homage to Fantastic Four issue #1, Simpsons Comics #1, a 9.8. And let me tell you, next week's book is fire. Next week's book is sitting right here. It is fire. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. Before we get going, I want to say what's up to some comic book soldiers that have joined me here in the room. The OG Blue Wrench, Tina, is in here. And I think people showed up in here around 7:10. So folks have been here for a little while. Shout out to Tina. Shout out to, I think Matt is in here. Matt Woods, the other Blue Wrench, is in here. Blogger extraordinaire, Doug is in the house. My man Alan is in here. Chuck is here. Good to see you, brother. Jim is also in here. The comic book soldier reporter, pretty fly for a Filipino guy, is up in here. My man Randy Resnake, extremely talented individual. It's good to see you, brother. Chris Bigger is in here. It is always good to see you, my friend. I hope all is well with you. Joe is in here. Wes is in here. Master Blaster is in the house. Young Matthew, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Scrolling down through the names, Ed is in here. My man Milt, Heavy Hammer Jim. It is good to see you, my man. Thank you for the email exchange earlier, or the Patreon exchange. L. Smith is in here. Scrolling through, Super Honorable Nephew is in the house. It's good to see you. All right, so there we go. Those are the shout outs that we are going to do. Now let's talk about Naomi. The news on this thing broke about 12 o'clock or so on Friday night. I got an alert from Key Collector app on my phone and also on my watch, and I was in a meeting at the time, so I didn't really have any time to investigate. But subsequently to that notice coming out, about 45 minutes later, I started to get multiple messages from various people, various comic book soldier reporters out there, sending me emails saying, have you seen the news about Naomi? Who's laughing now? That was the subject of one of the messages. Who is laughing now? So for those that have not yet heard the news, Naomi is going to be coming to the CW. And we have been talking about the CW a lot over the last couple of weeks. If you go back and watch the various live streams, we have been talking about Black Lightning and the Painkiller spinoff and Stargirl and various shows that are actually on the CW, coming to the CW. And now we know that Naomi is going to be getting her own show at some point in the future on the CW. And it is courtesy of a couple of talented people by the name of Ava. And I think the other one is it Jill? What is her name? Scrolling through. I think it's Jill. I lost her name. I had it in my head, but lost it right there. I think it's Jill. We're going to go with that right now. But the two producers and writers are people that have a history in movies and stuff like that. One of them is Ava. I believe the other's name is Jill, and we'll get to it in just a second as I scroll down on this article. You guys will be able to see it with me. But this other person was actually one of the writers on the Arrow show, joined later in the series and quickly rose the ranks. And so those two women are going to be coming together to actually make some magic happen for the DC character known as Naomi. And I will tell you, I started reading this book the other night, and I'm kicking myself that I did not read it before. I'm also kicking myself that I did not buy this book before. When there was a little bit of a blue ocean that was happening with this book, I missed out on it. And so DC Comics Naomi could soon be coming to the CW thanks to Ava and former Arrow writer and executive producer Jill. So I did get that right. These two women are teaming up to actually bring this character to life. And for many of you, you already know the backstory of this character, but the character originally debuted in a comic series in 2019, and it was co-created. The character was co-created by Brian Michael Bendis and David F. Walker, and illustrated by Jamal Campbell. Jamal Campbell, I do believe, is he is doing Far Sector. I do believe he's doing Far Sector right now. Talented guy that's been around for a while, but this character is incredible. The character really is incredible. I think I'm on like issue 3 or 4 of her series. I'm enjoying it, and I cannot wait to finish it. And again, I'm kicking myself that I did not pick this up earlier. But this article that's on variety.com actually goes through a little bit of background on who Ava and Jill actually are, where they come from. Both of them have long track records of being with Warner Brothers, or also with HBO Max, or with the CW, and also even with Netflix. Like, they have been around the block, but they are coming together and they are going to try to make some magic happen for this show. And I'm excited. I didn't see anything in here that spoke to when the show might actually be coming out, but they are announcing it. It is going to happen. The question is when. We can assume at some point in the back half of 2021, going into 2022, maybe, but only time will tell. As a result of this news breaking, I think that books started selling like crazy on the eBay machine this weekend. And I was looking at books, and they were out there for like $294, $295, all the way up to like $500. I have not looked over like the last day or so, so I don't know what's going on with the books right now. But this is a hot commodity, and this very much falls in line with everything that we've been seeing and hearing from DC over the last several months in terms of them wanting to be more diverse and more inclusive and all of that kind of stuff. It definitely falls in line with that. Now, I will tell you, I am a little shocked. I am honestly a little shocked, because DC is also like throwing out, in many ways, normal conventional thought. Right. And what I mean by that is that I have always had this feeling that they would not, and I'm talking about the industry, would not do a movie or a TV show with a brand new character that did not have a rich fan base. Right. Naomi was popular, but Naomi, as you just saw, dropped in 2019. And so I was always of the belief that a new character like Null, for example, probably wouldn't be seen for a while because there's like 80 years of characters that we would probably see before we saw Null. Now, what we're seeing from DC is that no, they're not going to necessarily follow the well beaten path, if you will. They're going to do some things that are a little unorthodox, and only time will tell whether that is good or bad. Hopefully, fingers crossed that it's good. But I was surprised by this move. I really was. But I think that if the person that brought a little bit of magic to Arrow can bring some of that magic to this character, given how awesome this character is, it is going to be a pretty fantastic show. So fingers crossed. So I'm actually going to go back to the chat real quick to see what you guys are talking about. And I may Chris Bigger's like still waiting on Booster Gold. I think you and Squirrel Madness are both waiting on Booster Gold, my man, because I think he is a big Booster Gold fan as well. So I'm scrolling through some of the comments here, seeing whether you guys are commenting on this right here. So I'm actually scrolling up. Freaky Louie, how you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Chuck says sold my 9.8 for upwards of $200. Got a few more. Okay, well, I think that's good, right? But you know, it's one of those things, man. Anybody that says that they have never sold a book and didn't regret it, like after, probably has never sold a book. Like everybody has probably sold at least one book where they were like, I wish I had not sold that. So Chuck, do not feel bad. At least you have others. I don't have a single one. I was late to the party. It was one of those things, man, where it was like the character was super hot and I was kind of like, not going to do it. And now I'm like, if I had, it's one of those things, and we've spoken about this before, that sometimes when you take the time to actually read about a character, you realize just how cool that character actually is. And that is exactly what happened with me with this character. I was poo-pooing the character like, I don't have time. I read it and I was like, oh yeah, that's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good. The story is pretty awesome. The way that I thought that it was going to go, it threw a curve into that. And I was like, oh, that's actually, that's a pretty cool curveball, you know? So if you guys have read it, you probably know what I'm talking about. I don't want to ruin it for other people that may want to check it out. So Pretty Fly says it's a perfect show to go with the new CW Superman show because of the Superman cameo in the comic. There you go. It was a cool cameo, wasn't it? It was a cool little moment right there. Scrolling up through the comments, and then I'm going to drop down to the bottom. Almighty Liger King is showboating here. He's showboating. He says got the whole set with some doubles too. Yeah. We got you. Almighty Liger King. Slow down, bro. Let me scroll down to the bottom and let me see. Mikey Sutton is in the house. There we go. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you. He says, unload Naomi while it's hot. CW spec gets cold fast. There you go. From a guy that breaks all kinds of scoops, the man might know a thing or two about which he speaks. So shout out to Mikey Sutton. It's good to see you, brother. Thomas, how you doing? He says, I have regretted. Oh, I lost it. I have regretted selling like 95% of every. You're a nut. You are a nut, my friend. Oh my goodness, you are hilarious. What is this? Chris Bigger says, my wife wishes I would sell a book or two. Brother, don't sell it unless you have to, right? I mean, because the thing is, you could sell it and be like me and regret it, you know, or the other side of me is sometimes I just stay blind to it. I sell it and I'm like, I don't even care anymore. I can't, you know? But yeah, don't sell it until you have to, brother, until she absolutely puts your feet to the fire and forces you to actually make something happen. So I'm scrolling through the comments here. Doug is supporting Mikey's comment right there, scrolling down. Noah, how you doing? Says, got Naomi for $15. Same day I got Mike Mignola autograph. Great day. And I'm just going to say, yeah. And I will say, I will double your money right now. That's all I'm saying to you. I will double your money right now. Scrolling down to the comment. Oh my goodness, you guys are hilarious. Now reading Booster Gold Future Lost Heart HC. There we go. So I'm scrolling through a couple of people talking about that. You may want to sell that one. You may want to sell that one while that one's still hot right there, man. I'm telling you, some things, honestly, you know, I know people will go out and they will buy things and because they have it. And part of it is you have to consider when is the right time to sell one of those comics. And the truth is that no one really knows. No one really knows, right? Because if you think about it, Naomi was super hot when she first came out. And then there was a period where people were, making fun of other people for having bought the books and for having paid what they paid. And that's why I told you one of the comments was, who's laughing now? As that character now comes back around and those books are potentially starting to go up in value. The question is, who is laughing right now? When is the right time to sell? When is the right time to hold? It is tough. I think you have to decide, why do you have the book? What are your goals and what are your objectives, right? Like, honestly, if I had one of those books right now, I wish that I would have bought it for the right price at a low point, and I just would have held it. And I would have been able to look at the prices that are happening now, and I've been in like, score. I wouldn't have turned around and sold it. Partly because I think the character is actually pretty cool. It's like I have a couple of Miles Morales books. I'm not selling those because I think the character is pretty cool, But it's like, if you buy it for chump change, you're not invested in the character. You don't really care. Why not sell it and take a little bit of that money and buy something that you do want to buy? So I think everybody has to say, how much did I pay for this book? How much can I sell for it or sell it for? If I sold it, what would I do with the money? Those are the questions that you have to ask yourself. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, if you care about the character, who cares if it's 500 or $5? I mean, of course you want the 500, right? But if you're not going to sell it, it's just one of those things where you're like, cool, I got it, So I think, again, it's a pretty cool character, and it's going to be very interesting to see what they actually do with this character moving forward with this TV show. It'll be interesting to see what actually happens with it. So fingers crossed that some magic actually gets made with this one. So let me go back to the chat real quick to make sure we covered off on everything. There we go. Comment here. One of our newest Patreon members. It's good to see you, brother. He says DD25 is nothing more than a temporary costume change. I'd sell some of the stuff. Maybe. I think you could be right about that one. Let me see. Scrolling through. Raging Cajun says, just won a VF ASM 110 on an auction today. Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. Make sure you post it up, brother, on the social medias and tag me so I can give you a repost, my man, and welcome you officially to the Giving Gang. Make sure you post it. If you're in Discord, make sure you post it up in Discord, because you get a different color name in Discord if you are part of the Giving Gang. And the requirement, of course, is that you actually have ASM 110, not the Marvel Tales. Marvel Tales is like JV. You only get a varsity letter if it's ASM 110. So Raging Cajuns, welcome to you, brother, and good luck. So seller's regret. Ooh, well said. Well said. I'll tell you, if I sell a book and I take that money and I buy something really awesome, I tend to have a whole lot less regret versus if I sell it and I sell it too soon and I just sold it for the money. Then I regret it a little bit more. But if I buy something really cool, I'm like, I still win. Let me see. Scrolling through. Let me see. All right, cool. I think I covered off on a fair number of that stuff. Banana Republic says, I'm liking the Nullified covers. Great artwork. The Nullified covers have been, no. The Venomized covers have been around for a while. The Nullified, I don't know that I've seen those, to be honest with you. I've been kind of heads down the last couple of weeks. I may have missed some things, my friend. Master Blaster says, Marvel Tales. We give them love. They're on the JV. They're on JV. We love JV too. I mean, we actually show up for their games. I mean, the crowd is smaller, but we show up for JV. We show up for them. Let me see what else. Kevin, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. I missed his name. There we go, Kevin. All right, so that was the first thing that I wanted to talk about, was what was going on with Naomi and the CW. Again, no date that I've seen thus far on when this thing may actually come to fruition, but fingers crossed that it's at some point in 2021 and into 2022. Now, well, I don't even know if they can film now that things starting to be shut back down. We will see. The second thing that I wanted to talk about is that I formed a new relationship, a new business relationship, I should probably say. And I've actually known these guys for probably over a year. I met these guys for the first time at Berkeley Comic Con. And they showed up with their nice little booth and their t-shirts and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's a different, they show up differently. They show up looking official. And I should have known that official look was going somewhere, and eventually where it was going manifested itself in the form of a really awesome app. And we've been doing a little bit of a song and dance, if you will, for like 8 months or so, trying to sort out whether we're going to be able to work together. They're busy, I'm busy. Then we come together and we talk for a little while, then we break apart, then we, let it go for like several months at a time. But I finally had an opportunity to sit down, and I had a series of back-to-back calls with these guys trying to work some things out. We've discussed a lot of stuff, and I think we're going to start with an initial opportunity for us to work together to see how it goes, and then it may grow over time. Fingers crossed that indeed it does. And so I'll tell you who it is now that I'm forming this relationship with, and some of you kind of sort of already know this app, and I'm specifically talking about Shortboxed. This app is pretty dope. It is a dope app. I will tell you this. It is great. And you can see that on the screen. It says the premier app for discover, buy, and selling collectible comic books, right? So, and I forgot the two there. The premier app to discover, buy, and sell collectible comic books. It is a pretty cool app that is available both on Apple and also Android devices. It's in the App Store and it's also on Google Play. I have been using this thing for months and months. I'll tell you, a lot of the books that I give away for the Go Collect giveaway actually come from this app. And the great thing about it is that the app is set up to allow private sellers to basically reach a broader audience, right? And so basically anybody can sign up, follow the guidance that these folks provide in terms of how to properly sell and all that kind of stuff, and basically have access to a population of people that are buying. And so if you don't want to deal with the eBay machine, you can or other apps or websites, you can actually tap into Shortbox and actually be able to pick up some stuff. I went hog wild for Thanksgiving. I purchased 2 months worth of Go Collect giveaway books through the app because they had a special like 10% off free shipping. I went hog wild and bought all kinds of stuff, including something for myself that I'm still waiting for it to actually show up. But the reason I bring this up is because I'm actually going to be launching a new video series. And what's going to happen is these guys are doing an interstitial page in my video, and they will in turn be embedding my video in their app. And so people will have an ability through my channel to get exposure to their app, and people in their app will get an exposure to my content via that embedded video that they're going to be doing. And so it is not a monetary deal. It is an exchange of audiences, if you will. And so again, this is sometimes how things are done, right? You stick a toe in the water to take the temperature before you jump into your neck. But these are guys, again, that I've known personally and that I've also done business with for like more than a year. And so awesome guys. So let me go back to the chat real quick and see if I missed anything. Thank you, Climbing Comics. Do you know these guys? Alan, do you know these guys? You may know them because they're local like you. There we go. Tina's like, I'm going to have to check that app out. There is some good stuff. It is free. The app is completely free. App is free. When you buy stuff, that's the only time that you pay. Scrolling through the comments, and again, I don't have any kind of promo codes or any of that other kind of stuff. I know people are going to ask me that. That's why I'm throwing this out there. But what you'll see is in the new video series that is going to be coming out that I'll be talking about later, there will be a link to them to download the app from the various stores. But you can do that on your own by either going to the App Store or to Google Play. Scrolling through, what is this? Reggie, you were right about people spending big bucks on facsimile copies. I've seen them go on eBay for anywhere from 50 to almost 400, which is bananas. That is bananas to me. Master Blaster says Shortbox is fantastic. Several purchases and they have fantastic inventory that is growing. Make an offer feature. Man, that make an offer feature, I couldn't wait for that to come out because I'll tell you, I was actually one of the beta testers. And so I tell you guys all the time, like there's all this crazy stuff and cool stuff that I get to do behind the scenes that I never really talk about. This was one of the cool things that I did many months ago is I was one of their beta testers and I was playing around with the app and I would buy stuff and I would give them feedback on this feature and that feature. And some of my feedback actually went into the various iterations of the app that have come out, and they're continuing to make enhancements and improvements to this thing. It's solid. It really is solid. And to Master Blaster's point, I think the inventory that is out there is pretty solid because the inventory really is the public, right? So it's not Shortbox selling just their books to people. It is people selling books to other people, facilitated through the app, which is really cool. And I'll tell you what happened to me. I ordered a book. I got so busy. I forgot that the book never came. These guys sent me a message and said, hey, did you ever get this book? And I was like, I don't know. Let me check. And what I was silently saying is, did I order that book? So I went and I looked, and sure enough, I ordered the book and the book never showed up. And what happened was they were like, you know, we looked into it. The guy was actually in the hospital and therefore could not ship your book. They basically offered me another book that was of similar value and then gave me a discount code for my next purchase for the inconvenience. And I ended up getting that other book and gave it away to you guys. And I honestly can't even remember which book it was at this point because it was so long ago, but solid stuff, solid stuff. Scrolling down through some of the comments here, Doug's like, I'm sold. It's pretty cool. I will tell you, it's pretty cool. And I'm risking telling you guys about this because now you're going to be competition for the books that I'm buying, which I'm not terribly excited about that. But when you have a new relationship, you try to go all in, you know? So Shortbox, you can download it. It's a pretty cool app. Let me throw it back up on screen one more time for anybody that may have come in a little bit late. I didn't even know they had a website until a short while ago because everything I do is directly through the app. So, but I'm certain that there's all kinds of stuff on here. There you go. You can buy. It has guidance on how to buy on Shortbox, how to submit an offer, how they do shipping. I may be going a little bit too fast. How you go about selling on Shortbox. And again, there's individuals that are actually selling in addition to Shortbox themselves actually doing some sales on the app. So there you go. Shortbox.com is the website. And then the app is available wherever you download apps. All right. So let me bounce back to the chat real quick. Yeah. Almighty Liger King says it definitely grew from the last time I logged into it. Yeah, man. They had a heck of an explosion. There were several copies of Amazing Spider-Man #1 that popped up on there. And I mean, now it's now starting to be a place where you can find Golden Age books, Silver Age books, modern books, for Master Blaster, Signature Series books. I mean, there is a wide spectrum of books that are actually available there, which I think is fantastic. And like I said, I've had a series of phone calls and video calls with these guys lately. They're thinking about making all kinds of additional enhancements and improvements, which I think is really, really fantastic. So, oh, Doug says, I gave up my secret Sandman spec list. Turnaround is fair play. Well said, brother. And I'm going to tell you, I was thinking about you last night, bro. I was thinking about you last night. I was going through my Sandman comics that are here at the house. I didn't realize just how many I had set aside. And I still need to get to storage to look for some of the others that you mentioned in your blog post, which is on regiecollects.com. But yeah, I was thinking about you last night when I was sitting on the floor, like, oh, I got that one too. And I got that one. I was like, Doug, I bet. And I almost sent you photos, but then I said to myself, he is going to have to stay tuned for the video. All right, so let me keep this thing moving forward. So the next thing that I want to talk about is DC Future State. And I'm actually going to share my screen here and hope that the folks over at DC don't actually jam me up like they did one other time when I shared some things that were from DC. But this is a trailer This is a trailer that actually dropped, I think it was like a day or two ago. Already about 150,000 people have actually seen this trailer, and it is actually pretty well done. I mean, I think that I would have done a really good job doing the voiceover. DC, if you're listening, here you go. But basically what this trailer shows and what it talks about is they're basically saying, what does the future of the DC universe look like? Who are this next generation of heroes that are going to take us into the future? And what is going on with the previous generation of heroes? Where are they? How are they making out? What's going on with them? And so it was this present future kind of thing, and it was really well done. It honestly got me a little pumped up to see what the future state will actually look like, to be honest with you, just because this is a big deal. This DC future state that they are doing is actually a pretty big deal. And we've talked about this several times over the last couple of weeks and months, where basically DC is basically ending a lot of their stories. Their story arcs are ending this month, at the end of this month. And then in January and February, they're basically going to be telling, all kinds of new stories using, in many cases, new characters, new Batman, new Flash, new Wonder Woman. The old characters are still there, but some of them are going to be in distant galaxies and other dimensions and all kinds of just crazy stuff. And they're basically going to tell these new stories through a bunch of one-shots and mini-series and anthologies and all of this other kind of stuff. And a lot of people don't like it. And there are some people that are pretty excited for this next phase. And it's going to be interesting. Let's just put it that way. We actually had Joe on the show a couple of weeks ago, twice, and we actually talked about, I think, DC future state both times was like the topic of conversation. I am actually looking forward to this, and I'm actually going to probably pick up a couple of these books because I want to see what it's all about. I want to see how the DC future state 5G, put the universe on pause and let's tell some different kind of stories. I want to see how that thing flows, and it's going to be interesting how it all plays out. So I want to go back to the chat real quick. The timeline for future state is in thousands of years. There we go. So Joe is constantly keeping me honest on DC stuff. And I am very appreciative for our correspondent. And I saw in one of the live streams, Joe was asking whether he got paid to be a Regie Collects correspondent. The answer is no, you don't. But I appreciate you, Joe. No, I really do actually appreciate you. So I'm scrolling through. Daniel says, as a DC purist, I'm very nervous. I think you should be. I think you should be. But I'm going to say, from the nature of your comment, at least you're not poo-pooing the idea, right? Nervous means that you are skeptical, and there's nothing wrong with nervousness or skepticism. There is nothing wrong with it, right? Because when I hear that, I'm hearing you're at least going to have an open mind to check it out. And if it's garbage, you're probably going to be like, yeah, this is garbage. But if it's good, in the same token, you're like, this is good or this is bad, right? I'm actually okay with that. But people that are like, no, this is trash, before they even read it, that's where I actually struggle. And my whole thing is keep an open mind. And from the way that I read your comment there, Daniel, that's how I'm reading it, that you're at least open to the idea. So let me see. Here we go. DC Future State. I'll probably check out some of the titles. Maybe. The late qualifier. I was not ready for that. No, it is what it is, man. I mean, at the same time, generally, most people don't like change, right? Generally, most people don't like change. Change can make people uncomfortable, and who wants to be uncomfortable, right? I definitely get that. Sometimes, however, change is necessary. Sometimes change actually leads to really good things. Once you are able to adjust to that new thing, you realize that maybe there's some good stuff, and maybe there's also some bad stuff, and you kind of separate the two and you move on with the good stuff and you chuck the bad stuff. So, I'm going to check it out myself and kind of see what's up. Scrolling through, I do. Dark Ranger's asking the question who I think the new Batman will be. I think it is going to be Luke Fox. At least that is the rumor on the street. The guy that wrote, that wrote the movie 12 Years a Slave, that also wrote The Other Side of the DC Universe, which is like one of the longest comic books I've ever read. It's massive. It is a massive comic, and it is also very dense with words. I think he has gone on record saying that at one point, I think he said it was like a 60% chance, and it was like a 75% chance that the new Batman would be black. And the rumor on the street is that it is indeed Luke Fox, son of Lucius Fox. So time will tell. Time will tell what actually happens. Juggernaut, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Scrolling down on some of the comments here. I think DC's parent company has a strong say in what's going on. I would say that I don't know that all the decisions that DC is making is of their own accord. I don't know if I see AT&T coming in and saying, do this with the character and do that with the character. I don't know if I see them going that far, but maybe they do, right? I know that AT&T is doing some very unorthodox things right now. We may actually talk about some of those things on the Comics Today show. They're doing some very unorthodox things, which isn't necessarily bad. They're just different. And so only time will tell whether we will actually know who's actually pulling all the strings over there. But it's an interesting time. And I think that all of these companies, whether you are the child or the parent company, all of these companies, all of these executives are under a lot of pressure to make magic happen in lieu of what is actually happening right now in the world, because shareholders don't care. Shareholders don't care. They really don't. Lee says, the problem is DC is suspending all titles until the initial run of Future State ends. I don't know if that's a problem. The way that I understand it, and please correct me if I'm wrong, the way that I understand it is a lot of the stories that were being told are terminating at the end of this month, but many of them were headed down that path anyway to transition to 2021. And I think there was one well-known writer, and I can't remember his name, that had some issues with that. But I think a lot of the writers and creators actually got on board with it. I think that the fact that they are suspending things for about 2 months makes some people uncomfortable. But when you sit down and you think about it, they're putting out, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, in the comment section, there's at least almost 50 books that are still going to be coming out during that time frame. DC puts out roughly, and they just cut back their line. They were roughly at maybe 70 books, 60 books. So you still have a great deal of content to read. You have your stories naturally terminating or forced termination in some cases at the end of this month. You have still a ton of content to read, and not all of that content is new characters. A lot of it is existing characters that you already know pretty well, and then they are transitioning in many ways back to some of those exact same titles come March. So it's like a pregnant pause or just a massive crossover that is all consuming. All right, that might be the better way to look at it. Scrolling through some of the comments now to see what else you guys are talking about. That first appearance of that character is pretty hot. I was looking at it several months ago when I first heard the rumor that it might be Luke Fox, and it was too rich for my blood. I'm cheap. It was too rich for my blood. I could not get on board with that one. But there we go. Kimball says this short box app is dope. Yes, it is. It has been my little secret for quite some time now. But now that I have this new relationship with Shortbox, I had to go ahead and share it. There was a thing up in Discord. Everybody that was having a sale was people that saw sales out there for comics were posting up in Discord in a special area, and someone, it could have been Master Blaster, actually posted up about Shortbox, and I was kind of like eyeballing it when it went up there, because again, I was in the middle of having these conversations with these guys. So it's a pretty cool app. It really is. Scrolling through, Russ says DC needs a Kate's. Facts. Scrolling to, there we go. Thank you, Joe. I definitely appreciate that, brother. I don't always, I sometimes don't get the facts right. So I appreciate when people are able to keep me honest. To that point, don't get me the line. Don't give me the line on what that first appearance was. I'm sure that somebody can actually pull it up in Key Collector app and give us a shout out as to what that is actually going to be. There we go. Sully Two Kings, my man is on it. All right, cool. Oh my goodness. I'll tell you, I read King in Black, and I'm preempting a video that's going to be coming out soon. I read King in Black. Donny Cates did not disappoint. And what I actually said in the video, because I just filmed it, I made a comment around how if you're going to hype and pump up your books better deliver. Donny Cates did not disappoint. King in Black is official. It is official. It is really, really good. And I actually also said in that video that I can't wait for issue 2. I don't think there's an issue 2. So when you guys see that in the video, just ignore it. Just ignore it. Cause I don't think there's an issue 2 that is coming out. I want to keep this thing moving on because I am running just a little behind here on my schedule. The other thing that I wanted to make mention of here as we get our way towards doing the giveaway book is that there are a lot of people out there right now that are talking about the demise of DC Comics. There are a lot of people that are looking at things like the layoffs that are going on. They are looking at the firing of Dan DiDiorio. They are looking at the co-editor, now single editor person that's taking over. They're looking at the AT&T relationship, the Warner Brothers relationship, what's happening with the CW. They're looking at DC Future State. And people are looking at all of these events and they're connecting dots. And they are basically saying that DC is doomed. They are saying that DC is going out of business. They are saying that DC is no longer going to be making comics come June. And they're also saying that partly because DC's online strategy of some digital first type of comics. People are making a lot of noise and they're getting a lot of views by highlighting and saying that DC is going out of business. And they're doing this with zero data. They are looking at factual events that take place, right? And then they fill in between those different facts a narrative of their own with no underpinning, with no substantiation. That narrative is super negative. And if you read the headlines that they put out there, it's like bloodbath at DC. And I think I may have had a headline like that too, so forgive me. But it was like bloodbath at DC. There was Jim Lee is on his way out. Jim Lee is about to be fired. Jim Lee is doing a style guide and he's about to leave and retire from DC. DC is no longer going to be making print comics come June. There is so much of that. And these people get amazing views. It's like super tempting. Like I want to jump in that bandwagon to get 24,000 and 100,000 views on one video, just making stuff up, pointing at the screen. I just want to do that. But the thing is I really don't believe that DC is going out of business. I'm going to say that now. I really don't think that they're actually going to go out of business. I think that they are, like many organizations, in trouble and scrambling because of things that we've talked about. The parent company is billions of dollars in debt. Movie theaters were open and now closed. I mean, it's hard out there, but I do not think that DC is going to go out of business at all. That is my belief. And part of what made me want to talk a little bit about this is this next news item that I want to share with you. And it kind of piggybacks off of what we just talked about, right? And I think somebody raised this point about the fact that and I also raised the point that DC is putting a lot of their titles on pause, if you will, and they're going to be resuming those titles in March. And people are saying those titles are never going to come back. It's just going to be DC Future State. None of those titles are going to come back. Well, the truth of the matter is that there is, as of like 4 hours ago, the most recent creative team that will be working on Detective Comics has been announced. And this creative team is going to be producing comics for Detective Comics starting in March. So in December, they are announcing the creative team for the book that is going to be coming out in March and beyond. If they were going to be shutting down, my general feeling is that they would not be announcing anything. They would not be spending money to pay these creators to do stories moving forward. They would not be making these announcements. But you can see here, as of 4 hours ago, DC reveals who will be the new writing and drawing. DC reveals who will be writing and drawing Detective Comics when comic books' longest tenured ongoing series returns in March. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the details of this really doesn't matter, but it basically tells us who is actually going to be doing it. It also talks about the folks that have actually been working on the Batman title. They are actually coming back. They've been working on this title for quite some time, pre-Future State, and now they're going to be on it post-Future State. But I think the more important thing is down here in the bottom, where it basically says new and returning series and their creative teams revealed so far include Wonder Woman, Wonder Girl, Swamp Thing, Suicide Squad, Teens Titans, Academy, Green Lantern, and Justice League Dark. Basically what they are saying is that, yes, we are putting things on pause for DC Future State, but there will be comics come March. Many of them are titles and characters that you've already seen before. We're going to be continuing those things. So again, the idea that DC is basically going to be going away, I don't think that that's going to be the case. So I just wanted to share this with you guys because I don't know. I get a little annoyed sometimes with the clickbait stuff that goes on, just because it's like, it's just not true. It's just not true. It's just not true. So I had to share that. Let me see. Two Brothers is in the house. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you. Unless Feige goes Vince Mahone and buys out DC like Vince. Man, I don't think he has that much money, brother. He has a lot of money, but I don't think anybody is about to buy DC. That the richness of that intellectual property with Batman and Superman, that's some serious money. That is serious money. And yeah, Marvel Studios has made, 23 billion. I think you need a couple of more zeros in there to be able to do something like that. That's my general feeling. There you go. Catherine's on it. She says DC has too much IP. There you go. There you go. Let me see what else you guys are talking about. Batman, you see what I'm saying? But by himself, it is worth that kind of money, right? The licensing is just bananas. It is bananas. So let's go ahead and keep this thing moving forward, man. I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown, really quick, as I glance at the time, give you guys a quick rundown of the videos that are going to be coming out from the channel over the course of this week. As I mentioned, I'm actually going to be starting a new series this week, and it's a quick hitting series that is going to be coming out at this point weekly because I filmed that many of them. It's basically 5 tips. 5 tips, and I'm going over various things like 5 tips for getting your Grail comic. And I actually think that that's the first one. So it's like 5 tips for getting your Grail comic, or 5 ways not to catch a brick when you're buying comics, or 5 tips for not catching a brick when you're selling comics. Those are some of the topics of these videos that are going to be coming out. And it's in these videos where the short boxed app is going to be mentioned in the video, right? So I'll be embedding an interstitial page in these 5 tips videos. They're going to be putting that same video in their app, which will be seen by folks that are navigating that app. So it's a nice little exchange of things. So that's one video that is going to be coming out this week. I'm going to be doing a digging in my shorts video. And I think this one is going to be a cool one. So digging in my shorts this week, we're going to be doing comics today on Wednesday. And then I'm also going to have another follow-up vlog where I'm talking about comics as a form of investment. I did one, I think it was last week. And this one is like a part 2 where I'm actually talking about if we had something like this for comics, it would be pretty awesome. So those 2 videos were basically recorded back to back, and I'm now releasing the second part of it. So 5 reasons is going to be coming out this week. Digging in My Shorts, Comics Today, and also Comics as Investment. Those are all the videos that are going to be coming out. There will be a blog post that's going to be out on Wednesday at 7 a.m. and also a podcast that's going to be coming out on Monday at 7 a.m. The blog post is Wednesday at 7 a.m. So a lot of awesome content is going to be dropping from the channel over the course of this week. And I definitely want to invite you guys to stay tuned to all the good stuff that is going to be coming out. All right. So let me go ahead and get ready. I think I just saw a nice little influx of people here that flowed into the room. So we did talk about the demise of DC Comics as clickbait. We did talk about that. If you came in a little late, you may have missed it. Don't give me a thumbs down thinking that I clickbaited you. I actually did talk about it. You just came in a little bit late, so you may have to watch the replay to be able to catch that. All right. So now we are going to do our giveaway of this book right here. And this is a giveaway that we do every single week, thanks to our friends over at Go Collect. They put me in a position to be able to give away these books. This week, it is Simpsons comic issue number 1, a 9.8 with white pages, an homage to Fantastic Four issue number 1. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. I'm going to roll these dice, figure out how many times I'm going to have to randomize this list, and then we're going to give this book away. So I've rolled 10. And we are going to randomize this list. And again, I want to encourage you guys to stay tuned because I'm going to be going live immediately after this one, doing a similar thing for Patreon members, and you guys will be able to see the types of books that are being given away to Patreon members. So we rolled 10. And what you see right here is the list of all the individuals that were able to successfully find the video this week that had the phrase embedded in it. They were able to navigate over to the community tab, find the post in which I actually talked about this Simpsons book, and they were able to plug in all of their information. So there you go. The good news is that we did not have one double entry this week. I had to throw out no one's name. So thank you guys for continuing to follow all of the guidance and recommendations for the weekly giveaways. So randomize this thing 10 times. That was 1. Here is 2. That is 3. Here's 4. 5. 6. 7 right there. We're almost there. Here is 8. This is 9. And the winner of this week's Go Collect giveaway is John. John and you, sir, are the winner of this week's giveaway. I see Ed in there. Ruben's in there. Jerry is in there. The winner from a few weeks ago. Jerry's in there. Michael, super honorable nephew, broke the top 10. L. Smith, Vika. Well done. Well done. So John, you have 1 week to send me an email to Regie at regiecollects.com, REGIE.com, with your screen name, your government name, which might be the same thing, your mailing address, and I will bundle this up and get it sent out to you tomorrow. I'm guessing you're going to get it to me tonight or tomorrow. Congrats on the Simpsons comic book right there. All right. So let me go ahead and come out of this thing. And again, because we are running just a little behind, I want to go ahead and transition real quick to this week's giveaway. Is Lee in here? Is Lee in the house? Lee Atkins? Is he in here? I don't know. I didn't see Lee's name. Chris is like, I demand a recount. Oh, you're a nut. Maybe next week is your week. I don't know. You tell me, which one do you want? Do you want the Simpsons book or do you want X-Men 56.5? You tell me. I don't know. I personally would pick this book right here. But I was looking for Lee because Lee is a big X-Men fan, and this is a dope X-Men book by the man Steranko. Gorgeous green cover. I absolutely love this book, and this book could be yours simply for watching the videos that come out from the channel over the course of this week. And one of those videos is a phrase. You basically just watch the videos, get the phrase, you head to the community tab, you make some magic happen there. If you do not know how to enter the Go Collect giveaway, all you have to do is to search on YouTube for Regie Collects Go Collect giveaway. There is a video, At 8:30 tonight, there is a post that will go up on the page, and there will be a link to that video. If you cannot search for it, there are multiple ways to get the information that you need, including if you want to message me, and then I'll just send you the same link, and that way you have it. This giveaway is something that we do every single week as a thank you to those individuals that take the time to watch the videos that are released from the channel. By watching the videos, it allows me to do cool things like create relationships with people like Shortboxed to eventually be able to make some additional magic happen for you guys. So there you go. Excellent giveaway, says Christopher. Rush, how you doing? Got it. Back to the if anybody's going to win, it's going to be this dude right here. He's won like, I don't know, 4 times or something like that. Well done. Well done. Chris Bigger, how you doing? The phrase is, this book belongs to Kimball. I respect it. I respect it. I don't know if anybody else does, brother, but I respect it. Let me see. Go in here. Let me do this real quick. So if you are a Patreon member, I put up on Patreon, and I also put it up in the Discord Patreon section. There is a secret Gibbon exchange that is going to be taking place for the holiday season. Master Blaster, one of the Blue Wrenches, I believe is one of the organizers of this thing. I don't honestly know all the details, but I'm certain that Master Blaster or someone else can fill you in. If you are on Discord, make sure you head over there to get the information. Or if you want to go to Patreon, I believe that there is information there as well. And it looks like it's been updated over the course of the day. But if you are a Patreon member and you're interested in participating, please take advantage of this. I salute you guys for taking the initiative to make this magic happen. I absolutely love this stuff, man. I really do love this stuff. So shout out to you guys for making some magic happen. All right. Belongs to Kimball's fake. Oh gosh. Chris Bicker, brother, you never fail to make me laugh. I'm gonna be completely honest. You never fail. This dude is hilarious. Does Patreon accept eBay bucks? It does not. It does not accept eBay bucks, my man. No, I don't think it does. No, it does take PayPal though. I do believe it. I think it does. Honestly, you can actually sign up for Patreon for as little as I think like $5. You can pay $1.99. $1.99 actually gets you access to the podcast that comes out from the channel. But if you want to be like, above that, the $5 is the entry that gets you access to more stuff. Like when I put up secret posts to get people insight, when I do private live streams just for Patreon members, the $5 gets you access to some of that, some of it, not all of it. It isn't until you do a little bit more that you start to get some of the crazy stuff. Like Master Blaster and I actually had it like a one-on-one live stream once because no one else showed up. It was like me and Master Blaster just hanging out for like an hour. It was a great conversation. But the higher you go, the more stuff that you actually get access to. Like we are about to do a live stream right after this, and I'm going to show people the books that are going to be given away based upon your tier. The giveaway will be adjusted based upon your tier. So the higher the tier, the more stuff you get. The lower your tier, you get it, the less. But I will tell you, regardless of your tier, if you are a Patreon member, I am thankful for you. I will tell you that right now. Every single dollar that you guys contribute goes to the channel in some way, shape, or form. And when you guys see the video that comes out, the new series that I've started, the 5 things, whether they be catching a brick or not catching a brick, when you see that video that comes out, some of the money from Patreon went to go to those graphics. And it also went to like the graphic that you see up over there, right? Went to this microphone, right? So we take the money that comes in through Patreon, no matter whether it's $1 or whatever, it goes back to the channel in some way, shape, or form. And so regardless of how much people contribute, I am very thankful for those folks. So, all right. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and erase that comment. And we're just going to pass that one up. All right. So with that said, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. A lot of really good content that is going to be coming out from the channel over the course of this week in the form of videos, blog posts, primarily from my man Doug, and also podcasts. So I definitely encourage you guys to stay tuned to the content that comes out, especially the videos, because this is this week's giveaway book right here, X-Men number 50 from the very talented Steranko. Do not miss your opportunity to add that really awesome book to your comic book collection simply for watching the videos that are coming out from the channel over the course of this week. With that said, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. If you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. And as I mentioned, I'm about to go live again in about 5 minutes to do a giveaway for Patreon members. It is open to anyone, so feel free to swing by if you want to see what I'm going to be giving away. Take care.